dangerous in the wintertime, but where do they rank nationally? We're going to tell you. Also, Thanksgiving is coming up. Which wine to serve with dinner? We have an expert here. He'll give us 3 affordable options. Also, here our special correspondent, Emily Mayfield, is back. She's going to show us a few of her favorite healthy appetizers that you can take with you to holiday parties. Your Friday lunch break is underway.
It's your lunch break with Jay Crawford.
And congratulations, you've made it to Friday.
Yoo-hoo! Can't wait.
Welcome to Lunch Break. I'm Jay Crawford. Joining me at the lunch table once again, Danielle Serino. Any big plans for the weekend?
Good morning. I do. It's a special weekend. My significant other's granddaughter is being bat mitzvahed.
Very nice.
I know.
Here in the Cleveland area?
Yep.
So you've got a
on the
full
east
weekend
side,
time.
break the stereotype. So
okay,
yes,
very
it's going to be all the families flying in.
Well, enjoy.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good time with that. Be careful on Ohio's roads. First on the menu, Ohio's roads are very dangerous in the winter. We know that. Did you know they are the 4th most dangerous roads in all of the United States? In Ohio. Here's the only criterion they use, though, for this, Danielle. And that was the number of highway deaths during winter months. Here's the top 4 most dangerous states. Michigan leads the way, believe it or not. They're first, followed by Pennsylvania, then New York, then Ohio, with an average of 26 highway-related deaths in the winter months from 2015 to 2017. What do you make of that?
My first thought was, because they have bad drivers here, but it's actually not true. Ohio is like 38th in terms of,
fewest accidents per capita.
Or just, there's studies that say worse drivers, so.
Oh, okay.
And they're 38th, so it's pretty decent. I'm going to say that it's because we have several very populated cities.
Sure.
Cincy, Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, so we have a lot more people traveling on the roads. So
and it's a Midwest state, so it's a through state. A lot of interstates go through Ohio, so you've got a lot of travelers doing that. I did think that the study was a little flawed because, well, they're saying most dangerous states, and the only criterion they use is the number of deaths on the highways in the winter months. I think
instead
a more accurate study
accidents
per capita.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Okay, so New York has more residents than most states. You would think that they would lead the way.
But the point is that these studies do this so they can get on the news and we talk about it. So they do that kind of stuff all the time.
We took the bait.
Yep.
Next on the menu, the presidential election, obviously less than a year away, and that means you can expect to hear a lot over the next year about political ads. And we've already started hearing stories about that.
Yep.
Twitter decided they're going to ban all political ads, and that's not a bad idea, really.
I don't disagree.
Because it's so hard to determine real news, fake news. Now Google is putting some limits on how political ads are distributed. In the past, they used to be able to use your search results to target you with specific political ads. Beginning early next year, they're going to actually limit audience targeting for election ads. They're going to limit it to age, gender, and general location. So they will no longer be using your search results to target political ads. Digital anchor Stephanie Haney here now to explain this in a little more detail. And also, Stephanie, tell us how we can take a little bit more control of our data. We're all interested in that.
Well, sure. So as you said, Jay, with these changes, Google will no longer be using your search history to target you for political ads specifically. They might still use that search history for other kinds of ads, but they will use general information like gender, age, and location to target you for these political ads. Here's an important distinction that may confuse people. Advertisers can still, however, show you a certain ad with the help of Google based on the website that you are on at that moment. This is not based on the person, this is based on the site that you're on. So this is a great reminder to do an overall privacy audit on your online accounts because you can control Google's access to the information that it uses to let all kinds of advertisers target you. So you can do this by going to myaccount.google.com, and once you're there on the left side, you click on Data and Personalization. Now, once you're under Data and Personalization, under there, you go to the Activity Controls, and this is where you can see what Google tracks you based on your web and app activity, your location history, and YouTube activity. Now, you can set this to pause to stop the tracking, but pausing the setting doesn't delete any of your past data. To do that, you have to go to myactivity.google.com. So Facebook is also looking at how to limit targeting for political ads. Now, if you want to see what Facebook knows about you, you do this by going to Settings in your account, So you click on that little caret in the top right corner, scroll down, select settings. Once you're in there, you go over to the left-hand side and you look down on the left-hand side and you see the ads section. Once you are in the ads section there, you see that Facebook lays out what it thinks your interests are and shows you what advertisers and businesses are using your information to target you for ads. So if you open up interests, you can see specifically what Facebook thinks that you're into. So for me, under travel, it thinks that I'm into Williamsburg, Virginia, for example. So if I don't want that, I can hover on it and click the X, and that interest is no longer associated with me, okay? So if we look below that, where it says advertisers and businesses, I can see what companies have targeted me with an ad in the past week.
Wow.
So these companies provided my information, like an email or a phone number, to Facebook, and Facebook matched it to my profile. Now, if I don't want that from one of these places, I can do the same thing here, hover over it and click the X. But by the way, that just hides the ad from that places for me. It doesn't necessarily remove the data that they already have about me. So remember, though, as you're looking at this, Facebook does still have all this data about you based on what we just showed you. These are just ways to help you control how advertisers reach you with that data.
Yeah. The bottom line, our info is out there, and as much as we'd like to think we control it, we don't.
You can't control it at all. And taking this, though, back to the political ads for a second, it still doesn't address the issue of fake ads. They don't vet the ads, so just
and
limiting...
that's the problem, isn't it?
Right. So limiting them getting to us, you know, and how they target us is not going to address that problem.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping maybe that Facebook will follow suit, that what Google's doing, because Facebook was a free-for-all.
Well, and they are, and they
election.
said we're not going to vet them, we're going to take the ads, we're going to put them out there. It's up to the user to decide what they believe and what they don't. That's dangerous.
Yeah, and if I was also a Google advertiser, I wouldn't be too happy, or a political advisor for Google, because I want to go to my people. And now you're saying I can't.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. Next on the menu, pay attention to this. This is an epic fail for Tesla. It's embarrassing, actually. Tesla CEO Elon Musk held a press event last night in Los Angeles. The whole idea here, Danielle, was to unveil the new prototype for the company's upcoming launch into the truck market, the pickup truck market. This thing looks very futuristic. In fact, Elon Musk said he was inspired for the design by vehicles used in the movies Blade Runner and The Spy Who Loved Me. This is the company's 6th different vehicle model launch since Tesla's founding in 2003. The price for this, between $39,000 and $69,000. This is where it gets embarrassing. Musk claims you can't dent it with a sledgehammer, or the glass is shatter resistant for a bullet fired from a 9mm gun. And then he tested it twice by throwing ball bearings at the car windows, and you see what happens, Danielle.
Yeah,
Oops.
and apparently he let out quite the expletive when it happened.
Yes, he did.
I would put this up there with OJ and the glove doesn't fit, and Geraldo and
the empty hall in
and the
Chicago.
empty hall. But
Yeah.
in all fairness, it didn't go through. It just
No, but it shattered.
It cracked it. It cracked it.
Yeah.
You know, so give him a little thing. I mean, you know, maybe the guy had a strong arm or something.
He said maybe I threw it too hard, and he says we've got some work to do. They got to go back to the
all
drawing
right,
board and figure that out. But if you're advertising that it can withstand a bullet fired from a 9mm gun, and then you break it with a somewhat hard throw into the window, it's not what it says it is.
I wouldn't, you know, want to be driving in that car without, you know, headgear on if it stays like that.
I'm not really into the futuristic design either.
I am not a fan
I don't
of
see
that.
how pickup truck
I'm not
drivers
a
will
fan.
love that.
Yeah.
Okay, then there's this from JetBlue. As one of their security questions on the airline's website, Danielle, I'm not making this up. You know, they say, what's your mother's maiden name,
Right.
or what's your favorite pet? The question here, I don't know if you can see it, look carefully. What is the name of your favorite child? And they actually expect users to put the answer in. One customer tweets JetBlue savage for this, which made me laugh. And JetBlue actually responded. They tweeted in response, say it, you know you have one. I'm a parent, I have 2 children, and I can sit here before you and say, Danielle, with 100% certainty, I do not have a favorite child. I don't.
But that's you. There was actually a study in the Journal of Family Psychology or something where they looked at 300 or 400 families.
Yeah.
And I think it was, and my percentages may be a little off, but 74% of moms and 70% of dads all admitting to having a favorite child.
That blows me away.
Yep.
So maybe the question is fair after all.
What I don't think is smart about it is everybody has, we were talking about access to all your information.
Yeah.
So you go on Facebook, let's say, they're going to know the 2 names of your kids are, you know, so they can figure that one out.
Exactly. And there would be fear, I would think, that one of the 2 kids might figure out which one you used for that.
Isn't that terrible?
That could be soul crushing.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
Yikes.
Well, got them good press again. See?
I know. JetBlue. All right, next on the menu, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, our special correspondent, Emily Mayfield, shows us how healthy foods that we can actually bring to holiday parties are good for us.
Yeah, they're good.
They're not loaded with calories. That's next.
And
Lunch break. It's Friday. We're all in a great mood. The weekend is here, and so is the holiday season. And while that's fun and stressful sometimes,
very stressful for me.
You go to all these parties and everything's so not good for you.
But it's so delicious. All right, but luckily we have 3 new special correspondent Emily Mayfield to help us out with some guilt-free food ideas. And hi, I haven't met you before.
Yes,
Pleasure.
thanks for having me. So the kitchen is not like my wheelhouse. I'm not a good chef. So we brought in Chef April to show us some easy and guilt-free options to take to holiday parties.
Nice.
So I think I could recreate these on my own, which is saying something.
Good.
Let's take a look.
All right.
When it comes to holiday cooking, we all know how hard it can be to maintain our healthy diets. For me, my sinful eating starts right off the bat with the appetizers, but we're here today with Chef April, who's gonna take us through 3 different appetizers that are satisfying and also guilt-free. So what are we working on today?
So the first one we're gonna start with is a ginger soba noodle salad.
All right, should we dig in?
Add carrots, add onions, and again, this is to your flavoring and your preference. And we're gonna start to make our dressing because we aren't done yet.
That looks so good.
So
Can we
good.
get a close-up of this?
So this is my foolproof, no waste container.
That is so cute. And appetizer number 2.
We are gonna make curry chicken devil eggs. And we're just gonna flip out our yolks. Onions to your choice, but Emily, you have to remember that these are for guests as well.
Okay.
So don't do the
I'll go a
Emily
little bit less.
Mayfield onions. A teaspoon of each one of the seasonings.
What makes it healthier?
We've got that extra boost of protein, which you know I love to give Baker every day.
Yes.
So we've got the eggs, we've got the chicken, and then instead of traditional mayonnaise, we're gonna use a Greek yogurt. You can take a little filling and make it nice and full.
So you know I'm not an egg fan.
Well, you know, I am anti-egg as well, but your husband.
Yes, this is us taking one for the
And
team.
so many people love deviled eggs, especially for the holidays.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's kind of like a constant at holiday parties.
It really is.
So fun. Now for the grand finale.
Mango peach meatballs. We're gonna put a healthy spin on these, of course. We're using ground turkey.
If it's not obvious yet, us Mayfields love onions. You did.
You know you're gonna put more in there.
I
Go
know.
ahead.
Like, love onions.
Don't pack them really tight.
Okay.
So that they can kind of breathe and the juices can flow through. We're gonna place
Done.
these in the oven and then we're gonna make our sauce while we wait.
Can we get a quick close-up of the apron?
We have some pureed peaches. We also have some chunky frozen mango. That is your best work today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you. Did you hear that? Our best work.
So we're gonna plate the meatballs.
Beautiful. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the garage door, meaning the ultimate taste testers arrived.
I know.
Let's get bacon here and try some of these foods. Quick recap with our special guest. Dig in.
Wow, that is so good.
That is
Okay,
good.
that is really good.
That's a 10 out of 10.
And I'm gonna leave this one up to you.
What is in this? That's so good.
We'll take his word for that one.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like main course meets dessert. That's so good.
Oh my goodness.
There you have it. These are 3 foolproof appetizers to take to a holiday party. Cute.
Oh, that looks nice.
First of all, I want to know, are the meatballs really guilt-free?
Yes, they are. No, they're complete. They're turkey based.
Right?
Oh.
You guys,
They-
that was by far my favorite.
Did you
I think
fry
it was
them or
Baker's
bake them?
favorite, too.
Bake.
Oh, see?
They look so good.
Baker was like obsessed with all 3.
He's a man of so few words, though. He didn't really
Because
say
he was,
much.
I'm like, Baker, this is supposed to be one bite, and he was eating the entire platter.
He
They
liked
looked,
all
it
of
looks
them.
great. I mean, some of that stuff I wouldn't traditionally, like deviled eggs. I don't love deviled eggs, but that mixture that she put inside.
And she was telling us you can do it with beef, you can do it with shrimp. Like there's so many variations.
Very
So-
nice. Okay, now I definitely want to try those meatballs.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
you
for
went nuts
viewers
when
at
you
home,
heard.
I know. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, what? That's all kinds of goodness mixed together.
Yes.
Well, if people want the recipe, where can they go?
WKYC.com.
Perfect.
Yes.
Emily, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Have a
Good meeting you.
terrific Thanksgiving season.
You as well.
And we will see you very soon. More lunch break coming up right after this. Stay with us. We're going to tell you which wines pair best with the Thanksgiving fixings. You don't want to miss that. Welcome back to Lunch Break. Oh, this will be fun. It's Friday, everybody.
It's like Kathy Lee and Hoda.
Yeah, time to taste some wine. Look, a lot of us will be going perhaps to others' houses for Thanksgiving, and you never know what to do. What do I bring? Wine is always easy. It's simple. You can just bring a glass of wine.
Little bag.
Yeah,
Yep.
it works.
Certainly does.
So, since there are so many wines to choose from, we brought in Brian Fike. He's the wine manager with World of Wines to show us which ones pair best with our Thanksgiving Day dishes. And I always thought that there would be one over the other, a red or a white would be good, but you have two whites and a red. So is there one that's preferable with the Thanksgiving meal?
You know, traditionally white wine is preferred. Turkey's a lighter style meat, so is ham. So people do traditionally pour a lighter style wine. A crisper white wine would be used. Red, often you're going to use a lighter style red for that. But I'd say white is usually traditionally what's poured at Thanksgiving. Some people also, the release of Nouveau Beaujolais, or Beaujolais Nouveau, is the Thursday prior to Thanksgiving every year.
Okay.
So a lot of
You don't
people
drink
make that a
wine.
tradition
I
as
got it.
well.
Makes sense.
And it's always a fun label, and they're just really light, easy drinking reds.
Okay.
Is it really going to affect the food, the taste of the food, if you're not drinking the right wine? With
You
the
know,
right...
that's a good question. It can. You
Okay.
know,
Oh.
I sometimes I tell people, you know, drink what you like.
Right.
Sometimes if you don't like a certain grape, and you're gonna, you know, pair it with a food, you still might not like the wine, and it might, you know,
Right,
make you not like the
yeah,
food
yeah.
as much. But I think it is for Thanksgiving. It's kind of fun to follow traditions, and so today I brought a Gewürztraminer, which a lot of people, you know, have a trouble saying. It's actually an Italian grape from northern Italy.
Okay, is that the first one here?
It is. It is.
Okay,
And
so
I
let's
brought-
go through these. Tell us about it.
So this is from Laurentia Vineyards out of Madison, Ohio. They're a fairly new winery. They've been around about 4 years. It's a beautiful place. This is on the drier side for a Gewürztraminer. It's about 0.6 in residual sugar, whereas a sweeter one would be about 2 or 3%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they do a nice job. This is a 2018 vintage, so it's nice and fresh. So another thing I wanted to point out: when you're buying white wine, buy newer vintages. Buy your 2018s, your 2017s.
Why is that? Because you sometimes hear that older wines, you know, they age.
Not
they're
necessarily
better.
with white.
Okay.
so it's
With
more with
red,
red.
to an extent.
All right,
But
the second one is white too. Tell us about
It
that
is.
one.
And this is Saint Supré. This is an unoaked Chardonnay. This comes from Napa Valley. And it has no oak character whatsoever. It will not have the lychee character that the Gewürztraminer has. It's going to be a crisper style Chardonnay. Basically, it's Chardonnay in its natural state, like they do often in Burgundy.
And you say the oak-free is best with turkey.
I think it is. It
Okay.
doesn't. The flavor doesn't overtake the food that way. It just complements it.
Okay. And then the red.
So the red is a fun little red. This is from Umea, Spain, and it is a Monastrell Cabernet Sauvignon blend. It's a medium style red. It's got nice fruit character. It's structured. It's going to go great with the cranberry relish that you have at Thanksgiving. And it's a fun little wine. It's a great value in today's
Do you want
market.
to try the red, Danielle?
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, what are the price points for here? And
So the Harpersfield the Laurentia Gewürztraminer is $24.99.
Okay.
The Saint Supré oak-free Chardonnay is $19.99, and the Goru Monastrell Cabernet is $24.99 as well.
All right.
When that was first introduced, it was a much more expensive wine, according to Wine Spectator. So it's a nice value.
Which do you prefer, the red or the white?
I'm not a big cab drinker, and I also
Okay.
think there's a little bit of a tough finish at the end of it, like a bitey finish, which I don't love, but I mean, I love reds.
Yeah.
It needs to open up a little bit.
Okay.
You know, I just opened it up, and it might be a hint too cool as well.
But I just want to also point out, I did a wine test with these guys a year ago.
Yeah.
And more expensive does not mean better.
Yeah, I
This
know
is
that to
true.
be true for
Yes.
sure.
Found you
Absolutely.
got to
As
just
well.
find a grape that you like.
Hey,
We
Brian,
did.
thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
We
Thanks
certainly
for having
appreciate
me.
it. We'll
Thank
put all
you.
these up on our
Pleasure.
website, so if
Thanks.
you're interested in any of them, you can figure out which to bring.
And we'll bring them
for
out to
your
the
Thanksgiving
newsroom.
gathering. Yeah, they'll be gone fast.
Get drunk for the sex.
Next on the menu,
Thanks for
a
having
big
me.
name in boxing is coming out of retirement. Who is it? And what's going on here? That story next. All right, as we wrap up lunch break, Floyd Money Mayweather coming out of retirement. The boxer made his announcement in this Instagram post last night. UFC President Dana White reposted that on his Twitter page, saying the two of them are working together again to bring the world another spectacular event in 2020. It's not quite clear if he'll actually be back in the ring, but something's going on here. Something's going on here.
Well, he looks like he's still in fighting shape.
Oh, he can still throw hands. No question about that.
I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley.
No. Have a great weekend. See you Monday.
Thanks for making 3 News a part of your afternoon. Watch us live wherever you are, on our website, on our apps, and on Hulu and Roku. No matter where you are, 3 News is there.